Welcome back to the Folio. I'm Bob Fitzgerald, Strategic Account Advisor at Facilisgroup. I'm excited to be joined today by AJ Mitchell and Nick Wood from GraphXsource, an industry leader in production art and back office administrative staffing solutions. AJ, Nick, thank you both for taking some time out of your day to spend time with us this afternoon.
Thanks for having
Appreciate
us,
it, Bob.
All right, guys, let's start with the history of GraphXsource. How did it start and become what it is today?
Yeah, I'll take that one. So we have a very rich history in the apparel artwork space. GraphXsource actually was stemmed out of, we used to own a patch manufacturing division. And if I could share my screen, I can show you some of these examples. There's actually a pretty cool, when you visit our Dallas office, we literally made the patches that went on the Apollo mission. So yeah, here's kind of a little corporate history. So the artwork division was founded in 1984. So we just hit our 40th year anniversary, which is pretty insane. But the way all of this stuff, the real nucleus of this all was we had a patch manufacturing division. Well, back in the day, you used to have like physical artists that would go through and plot every single stitch. That's why if you hear people in the embroidery space that have been in it for a long time, they call it paper tapes or punching. Those punching artists, they're highly skilled. So we realized, hey, there's an option here where people can outsource that artwork to highly skilled, highly trained people. And then fast forward another 60 years. And yeah, now we've got close to 1,000 people worldwide.
That's awesome. It's a great story. What a great project to be a part of. And congratulations on that milestone anniversary. That's awesome to hear.
Thanks.
Thank you.
So what services does GraphXsource offer?
Yeah, we offer everything from digitizing. We do screen separations for screen printing. We do promo artwork. We offer a call center, order entry, CSR, that sort of stuff. So anything that you can think of within the world of graphics or the promo industry, we offer a service for it.
That's great. So when you bring on an artist, then what knowledge or training do they need to have before you guys are ready to pair them with a client?
So typically what we do is we will run hiring like fairs and bring a bunch of new hires in at one time. We run them through what is an Adobe certified academy. So they come out of this academy being Adobe certified graphic designers. And depending on what area they're going into, they then go into other courses. So for instance, if they're going and doing separations for screen printing, we have a screen printing lab set up in our Honduras office where those designers will then go to our screen printing lab and they'll learn everything that you need to know about screen printing. So they are hands-on, knowing how screen printing works. So when they translate to their computer, they can then, take what they learn in the screen printing lab and apply it to their designs. Same goes for embroidery. We do in-house embroidery as well. So whenever we're punching tapes, doing the digitizing, our designers are able to go and see what that design is going to look like embroidered. And then for our promo artist, we actually have an entire promo academy that we started and we're continuing to build off of it. And all of our promo designers go through this promo academy where, they learn so many different things when it comes to even vendor specific things, whether this is going to fill when it's printed, if this is going to work on this material, those sorts of things. They're learning all of those things whenever they go through the promo academy. So when we get ready for them and we hand them off to a client, they've already had all of this background of training before we even give them to anybody.
That's awesome. So it's great to hear that you have kind of a continued training model for your reps, for your clients. And just allow them to continue their professional development. So you'd mentioned that the Honduras office. How many different countries are you guys in?
Yeah, I'll take that one. So we have Honduras being our biggest office. We just hit over 600 employees down there, which has been, it took off like a rocket ship. And, thanks to people like AJ training that staff down there to really take on these accounts. we've seen explosive growth. After Honduras, we have our Dallas office, which is about 30 employees, more administrative, accounting, that type of work. We have an office in Calgary. So one of our co-owners lives in Calgary, has a place up there as well. India is about 130 people. And then our second biggest office is Thailand, which is where the majority of our digitizing is done. So we run some pretty big programs out there where they're really highly skilled at like vector redraws, digitizing. So that our Thai facility is definitely our digitizing hub, where we have, the last time I checked, we had 24 single head Tajima Neo machines. And basically what they're doing is those digitizers are highly skilled. You know, we have people that are good with mascots. We have people that are good with sports. We have people that are good with small text. So basically what happens with that digitizing staff is they will punch it out. It sends directly down to the sewing floor, and they do a sew out, whether it's on a cap or a polo like this. Stretchy material sometimes gives a lot of funky results when it comes to embroidery. So we found with that physical sew out, they can ping pong it back and forth until that file is like absolutely perfect. Once that file is perfect, that's what goes to the person that's going to be doing the physical sew out.
Very cool. So it's impressive to hear the number of reps that you guys have throughout all the countries you're operating out of. How does GraphXsource support everyone? Kind of talk to us about the team structure, if you would.
That's great. Yeah, I'll ping on this one, AJ, and then I'll ping it back to you. So we've found kind of our secret sauce, if you will, is you have the individual designer. Well, that designer is dedicated. If you go with the staffing model, they are dedicated to that specific shop. So what we found is a rapport is built. You know, they really learn the business structure. If it's a heavy screen print, if it's heavy DTF, if it's heavy promo, they really learn the intricacies. Now, above that, they have a junior team lead. So we have pods. Typically, we try to keep it to 15. So in that pod of 15, whether it's in the promo space, screen print space, embroidery space, they have a junior team lead. Hey, I've never seen this style of artwork, or it came over flattened. How do we extract the colors, or what Pantone would you use for this? They can escalate that to the junior team lead. And then above them, they have a team lead. So the team lead is more managerial, making sure that, attendance is good. If there's continued training, getting them in a training course. So we really try to make sure that artist is supported, which that's the cool thing about GXS is you really get a team behind you, as opposed to here's your person. Hopefully they're good. If anybody recognizes they need continued training, it's very much a family down there where it's highly supported.
Yeah. And then to add on to like what Nick was saying is, in addition to those teams that we have in Honduras, we have a couple people stateside, myself, and we have another woman who does the same thing as me, who work as senior art directors, and we manage those team leads and junior team leads and provide training and work directly with the clients as well to kind of make sure everything is moving smoothly and make sure that they're getting the trainings that they need. And I can communicate with, the client. They're like, oh, they kind of need a little bit of help doing XYZ. So then we can provide a training doing XYZ directly for that designer or that team that we're working with as well.
Yeah. Also, if we need to jump on oftentimes we'll have like video calls with clients as well too, where the junior team lead and the senior team lead are in with the actual artist. So oftentimes that shores up, even though we are near shore, jumping on a video call like this and saying, hey, Bob sent this one over. I need a few more questions answered. It really helps out for sure. And bilingual and the whole thing.
Yeah, that's great. So, AJ, let's kind of turn to you for a second here. As senior art director, what types of art are you seeing most now coming out of the promo industry?
Oh, I couldn't even tell you. There are so many different things that are coming out of the promo industry. It really depends on what those clients are focusing on. One of the biggest things that we've seen are brand boxes. Those things have exploded everywhere. We have clients who, they will build a brand box and put tons of products in it and send those off to their clients. And those are huge. And I think that's probably what I've seen the most of recently are those, but your standard pens, mugs, cups, those sorts of things. Those are all the stuff that's coming through. But I would definitely say the brand boxes have taken off recently.
Yeah, it's not going to be a promo where pens aren't involved somewhere in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I was going to chime in on the apparel side. Just like everything, we're seeing DTF kind of disrupt that market, and I love it because there's some really cool filters and things you can put on the DTF side where it starts to really bridge that gap between screen printing, traditional screen printing and DTF. So we've trained up our teams down in Honduras to almost take a screen printer's approach to it, where they're using halftones in the bases and creating a lot of bends in the artwork to where it's breathable. It doesn't feel like a transfer. So it's been a really fun time to be in the industry. There's a lot of stuff moving and shaking for the better.
That's awesome. So let's talk about plans for GraphXsource. Any big upcoming projects, any new plans for you guys as we approach 2025?
I can touch a little bit. I know that we are currently expanding our promo department. I'm actually super excited. A team lead that has been working under me for a really long time just got promoted to a manager, and she's kind of overseeing our promo department down in Honduras. Because we've grown so much. And that's really exciting for us because when I started just 2 years ago with GraphXsource, I had that team lead and a junior team lead and maybe a handful of people. And it's grown so much now that she's been promoted to a manager, and there are multiple team leads and multiple junior team leads underneath her. So that's really awesome to see that we're growing there. And then Nick, you can go ahead and add some other stuff in there.
I want to give a major shout out to Facilis, as that's been a big portion of that promo product growth. And like AJ was saying, we started with 2 people in that space, and now I think we're at 40 or 50, I believe. So it's again just kind of been a rocket ship. But yeah, in terms of future expansions, we just signed a lease in San Salvador. So San Salvador is one country right above Honduras. The place that we got it's in El Salvador, but the place that we're building out is in San Salvador. So the build out structure right now is another 90 seats, and we're pretty confident that whole office structure is going to be filled out probably by middle of 2025. So it's running some really, really big programs down there that are just catching like wildfire.
That's fantastic. Love hearing the growth. Love to hear promotions from within. So as you guys are growing to support the industry, where do you see the industry going next year?
You can go for that one, Nick.
Yeah.
That's all you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been such an up and down last couple of years, so I think everybody is really excited for your insight on this.
I'm curious as well.
Yeah. Hey, I will. So there was a conference recently called the Print Hustlers Conference, which is put on by a couple different people. So they had an economist there, and his predictions for 2025 were pretty optimistic, which is great. So he's, tracking it on promo order volume versus just like the consumer spend. And it like the S curve was crazy last year. Started out strong first quarter, middle of the year dipped back off, and now we're kind of, heading back up. But I think if my predictions for 2025, I think that hopefully interest rates are going to drop a little bit, which in turn B2B always thrives during those times. So hoping that kind of frees up a little bit more consumer spending, but yeah, it definitely kind of follows that market. So he said too, it's looking optimistic, but it's also looking into a crystal ball. So yeah. But trend wise, I've noticed, like AJ was saying, like the promo boxes, promo is, as companies free up a little bit more of that capital, that fall into that advertising space. I think we're going to see a heck of a lot more promo, which, the apparel side falls under that. Very optimistic for 2025 for sure.
Awesome. Well, we are too here. I think the industry is ready for some strong rebounding. So hopefully the economist is right, and we all have a great 2025. So hey guys, as we kind of wrap things up here, I'm curious: are there any pieces that I didn't touch on? Anything that I didn't ask that you think that is important for prospective clients to know about, or they should be thinking about as they're looking to reach out for support in their future projects?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the things that's really important and kind of sets us apart um, is that we can offer so many different services within everybody's wheelhouse, right? So we have different structures for how we will provide an employee to a client. If there's a client that needs some order entry and some CSR work, but they need some graphic design stuff, we can give them a hybrid employee that can do both. So in terms of that, I think we have a lot of flexibility within the industry to be able to offer a lot of different services and have those services kind of housed under one umbrella. And that's one of the things that we've kind of seen as we're expanding and we're getting bigger, that we have some clients that they're with a couple different third parties doing a bunch of different things, but then when they find out that there's other things that we can do and that we can offer, they're very eager to get under one umbrella and have one company that's kind of handling a bunch of different things for them.
Yeah, that's a great point. I know there's plenty of folks. It just makes life simpler to operate everything in one space. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Keep GXS in mind if there's repetitive tasks, or, let's say if somebody's on maternity leave, or if you have the employee that's quitting, finding a different job, that's when it's kind of the perfect time to get us implemented. And really, we try to say once we're in the system, once we're logged in and we take those training wheels off, we try to be kind of the forever option, so you can kind of check that portion of the business off.
Great. Right. Well, AJ, Nick, this has been great, and I truly appreciate you sharing and bringing some knowledge to kind of the graphic design and services space, and specifically to what GraphXsource can offer. So to the Facilisgroup community, you can find the link to GraphXsource on our Premier's Perks page, and you connect with AJ and Nick there. And for the rest of the industry, please feel free to take a look at GraphXsource.com to connect and get any help with any of your graphic projects. Thank you so much for joining us today on the Folio, and we look forward to seeing you next time.